everybody! For my Educational Thinkers presentation, I did Lawrence Kohlberg. When I studied child development, he was one of my favorites. I'm going to start by diving into a little bit of his background. Lawrence Kohlberg is best known for his model on the stages of moral development. Kohlberg developed his 6-stage theory on moral development while working on his doctorate degree. His theory was inspired by the research of Jean Piaget and has changed the way sociologists and psychologists look at moral development. Kohlberg was born in Bronxville, New York in 1927. After World War II, he helped smuggle Jewish refugees past the British blockage of Palestine. In 1969, he returned to Israel to study mortality of young people in his collective settlements. He enrolled at the University of Chicago and was able to complete his bachelor's in only 1 year because his scores on the admission test were so high. He then continued to get his doctorate degree in 1958. He started as an assistant professor of psychology at Yale from 1956 to 1961. He then spent a year at the Advanced Center for Behavioral Science from 1961 to 1962. He then became an assistant and then an associate professor of psychology and human development at the University of Chicago from 1962 to 1967. He spent the next 10 years as a professor of education and social psychology. So now we're going to dive into the 6 levels of his theory for moral development. Level 1 is pre-conventional. Children at this stage tend to obey rules only to avoid punishments by adults. Level 2 is conventional. In this stage, kids evaluate acts according to the motives behind them and then take circumstances into account. Level 3 is post-conventional. In this stage, individuals value the will of the majority and the well-being of society. Level 4 is social concern and conscious. At this stage, individuals are concerned with respecting authority, maintaining social order, and doing their duty within society. Level 5 is mortality of contract, individual rights, and democratically accepted law. Individuals at this stage can recognize that there are times when human need and the law are conflicted. They believe that it is better if people simply follow the law. Level 6 is mortality of universal ethical principles. At this stage, individuals do what they think is right, even if it conflicts with the law. Kohlberg's theory, which was built on Piaget's research, profoundly shifted the way in which we view moral development. Researchers now study how individuals base moral judgment on their understanding of the social world, rather than seeing mortality as simply the attainment of control over self-gratifying impulses. Kohlberg's research has been criticized by other researchers, most notably by Carol Gilligan, who noted that Kohlberg focused exclusively on male children in his studies for moral reasoning. Gilligan concluded through a series of studies that males and females develop differently. Boys have a justice perspective, whereas girls have a care and responsibility perspective when judging mortality. Another problem with Kohlberg's theory is that he focused primarily on the development of children in America, and it is still unclear as to whether his model applies to people in other societies. My input on Kohlberg's theory is that I agree with Carol Gilligan's point, because working with both boys and girls from different ages, they tend to develop and act differently. But also, I believe that how children develop comes really based on where they came from and what type of environment they were raised in. Lawrence Kohlberg was an important figure in sociology and psychology. Though his research has been criticized, Kohlberg's model on the moral development of children has become an important sociological and developmental theory. His research has profoundly shifted the way we look at moral development today. Thank you.